Western science has created huge abundance. It has unlocked the doors of tremendous technical knowledge. But science was originally the child of philosophy, and the primal questions still remain. What is the creating force for our universe? What is the source of all we perceive? What is consciousness? Why does the ego structure appear to be separate from the surrounding universe? What is the purpose of our lives? So let's return to the original dilemmas of matter and consciousness and rope them in the form of the medieval riddle of the mud and the frog. Here is a quote from the physicist Paul Davies as he attempts to solve the riddles of matter and consciousness by discussing whether an intelligent designer for the universe is required. In response to the universal riddles, humanity has created two great creation models, one of matter and one of consciousness, the two mother lodes from which the sciences and mysticisms are washed. Historically, the proponents of these two models have often stood in deep antithesis to one another. On the matter side stand those remembered primarily as scientists and mathematicians: Euclid, Archimedes, Eratosthenes, Hipparchus, Copernicus, Bray, Galileo, Newton, Darwin, Maxwell, Lyell, Watt, Faraday, Einstein. On the consciousness side stand the great lineages of mystics: Lao Tzu, Zhuangzi, Gautama Buddha, Socrates, Heraclitus, Bodhidharma, Milarepa, Rumi, Kabir, Krishnamurti, Gurdjieff, Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta. Between these two groups there also stand visionary scientists who suggest that the universe has an octet structure deep within its form, with endless group repetitions of the number 8, such as Pythagoras, Kepler, Newlands, Mendeleev, Ramanujan, Tesla, and Joel Mann. The science creation model in its simple form can be described as the 4-block model of matter. The first block is the space-time gravitational vault. The second is primal matter. The third block is the underlying physical laws such as the tendency to complexity and natural selection. The fourth block is the eventual appearance of consciousness, appearing to be simply a cosmic hallucination created by complex chemistry. Science has sought to prove this model by examining the universe in intricate detail, and it has found surprising patterns within its data, such as the remarkable planetary orbits within our solar system. Beyond our solar system lie the great expanses of the galaxies. But science has discovered that there is not enough matter in our universe to create the gravitational patterns we perceive. So it has proposed that our cosmos is moving within a dark treacle of unknown matter, which is not made from protons and neutrons. Science has labelled these strange realms dark matter and dark energy, descriptions similar to terra nullius or unknown lands upon the ancient maps. Science still has no coherent explanation for these expanses, which are predicted to comprise more than 95% of our universe. On a biological level, science has discovered that the myriad forms of life are based upon a biological language of 8 by 8 or 64 codons of DNA. There is also a second language, the RNA creation sequence, which uses 20 biological amino acids, plus a stop and start codon in each sequence, to create protein structures which turn the templates of DNA into physical life forms. It is possible then to say that biological life is based upon two languages, of 64 and 22 letters. On the molecular level, science has discovered that elements of the periodic table are based upon 7 families, with their properties changing every 8th element. On an atomic level, electrons move around the nucleus in 7 shells, forming in octet patterns, with a maximum of 8 electrons in the outer valence shell. Beneath the periodic table of elements lies the chromodynamic level of the subparticles. This level has been called the eightfold way because the subparticles arrange themselves into families with 8 members. 8 baryon particle waves form as an octet, 8 pions form as another, 8 vector mesons as a third. These particle waves in turn are made from 3 smaller particles, a triplet called a quark, which in turn are woven from superstrings made simply from space. It is proposed this fundamental space is limited to 64 degrees of movement. Our quantum dilemmas are the same dilemmas we would experience if we were a character within one of our movies and began to examine our movie nature. We would discover that our reality was simply a bewildering mirage of flickering light, moving in random and chaotic fashion, with no causality nor prediction of position. It would be a strange cosmic sorcery created from an unknown dimension, and we would be trapped within a prison of perception, unable to cross the abyss of the dark theatre to find the source of the light which creates our world.